I love him, but should I stay? But literally, the buts that we're saying are bigger than the buts that y'all buying from Dr. Miami. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Chelsea's Live Line. I'm so excited to see y'all tonight. As you can see, the lighting is a little bit more bright because I was tired of dealing with those shadows, which I do see a little bit, but not as much as we were dealing with last time. Also, God willing, the lights will not go out tonight because we're not dealing with that. Gotta keep them bills paid. No, I'm playing. But on a serious note, shout out to y'all for being here. Shout out to Janesta. I saw Mona in the chat, King J. Sean, Kojak, and I know that others are coming in as well. So I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank y'all for showing me love each and every Wednesday here on these YouTube streets, which can be treacherous at times, but we handle our battles accordingly. Tonight's episode is called Should I Leave Him or Stay? Should I leave him or stay? And many times when we ask ourselves these questions, we already have the answers. And then as soon as somebody tells us the answer we really don't want to hear, but we know it's best for us, that is when we don't use that advice. I've been there. I've been that person that has been in group chats, for example, or groups on Facebook. And I would say, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm going through. And I tell them my whole story and try to get honest feedback from them. They tell me, go ahead and leave. And I was like, yeah, I'm in accordance with that. You leave, and then a couple more days, you returning back to square one. Because you do not have a plan after you plan to exit. We always telling everybody else that it's time for us to leave, time for them to leave. But as soon as it's time for us to leave, it's a problem. We don't know what to do because it's a trauma bond that's built, and we think it's called love. But let me tell you, love has nothing to do with it. It really doesn't. And this shirt here I'm rocking tonight is Thou Shall Not Disturb Me, Mood 24/7. Okay, I be doing my thing on my own, on my lonesome, and that's how I am. I keep to myself, and that's that. Well, shout out to Mona saying Chelsea pretty in pink. I appreciate you, Mona. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you. Look, and Janessa's talking about if he's cute, I will stay. And see, that's the thing. Let him look good. Say the right things to you, and you are willing to stay. And so many women are dead today. I ain't trying to rhyme, but so many women are dead today because of what looked good, what felt good, and what sounded good. Am I lying to you? Because we thought that this person was fine physically, but mentally was off of his rocker. We don't know what we're getting ourselves into. And like Kojak is saying, sometimes that love is really lust, and we have to know the difference. And that's why I'm going to get into tonight's episode. We're going to be talking a little bit about Blueface, and of course I'm going to be giving some feedback to some women who need my help. Because they're asking, should they leave or should they stay? And they claim that they have good reasons to stay, but them reasons should not outweigh what's right. So I'm going to get into the word of the day coming from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, which says the following. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Are you willing to do that? If you are unwilling to do that statement, then guess what? You shouldn't consider yourself a husband. You should not pursue a woman and waste her time thinking that she's going to get that man who's going to love her like Christ loved the church. I'm going to get into it. There's some examples today of some women who are on this Facebook group, of course, that I'm a part of, and they're telling us what they're going through. And it makes me just reevaluate and realize that who you marry is the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. And it's not to be taken lightly, and you should not rush the process. You need to trust the process and take your time. Because again, people do hit that reverse, trying to hit that, go to that divorce, but sometimes that can be messy as well. So it's better to do it right the first time than to be trying to repeat this process over and over again. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies. I need advice. My husband and I are a blended family. There were tons of red flags before we got married, but I ignored them all. And that's the thing. Before I even get into more, I'm just going to tell you right off the rip is that my future spouse, I'm taking them as they are. Like Mary J says, take me as I am or have nothing at all. Take them as they are. If they were drinking before they got with me, then I'm going to accept the fact that they like to drink. I cannot change them. I cannot change them because it's the nature of who they are. Same thing, if they were smoking before I got with them and I decided to deal with that and I don't smoke, then that means that I have to deal with that. But let me continue reading this right now. Because again, we cannot change somebody. We are not a teacher. We're not a therapist. And even if you are, your partner is not your full-time job to be doing all that. But she says, now I'm not even attracted to my husband anymore. He allows his 24-year-old daughter to live with us and not lift a finger around the house. And see, this is the thing. You have to know how people's parenting skills are before you get with them. You have to know this. And that's the worst thing in the world. You over here as the mother-in-law doing all the duties. And then his 24-year-old daughter, he's basically raising her to not even be a wife because she's not lifting her finger around the house. So what is she going to do when she gets a husband? How is it any different? This is what I'm saying, is that you have to look at people's parenting styles to understand that they may not be all that they're cracked up to be. When I ask him to make her at least clean the kitchen one day a week, he won't. And that's another thing. As step parents and whatnot, sometimes you cannot even give these people advice about their kids because they're going to be looking at you like that's not your child. Sometimes it can be like that, right? You're trying to give your input and they're looking at you like, we're not even related, so I'm not going to listen to you. And it's best to just let their actual biological parents handle some of those situations because you don't want to look like you're intruding. His son doesn't talk to him at all because of the whole nasty divorce and not liking myself and my kids. So he overcompensates for his daughter in fear that she will leave if he makes her do anything. And that's why I tell you, divorces can really damage your children. It's not just about y'all too. It's like literally dividing a whole family together. And if you have kids included in that, that's when jealousy could come in and there could be unhandled issues before you go into the next person that you're with. He doesn't go to church with me any longer, and we barely talk to one another. He's a pig, literally. He eats things in his office and his man cave and just leaves it there. He even pees in bottles? What? Girl, who are you? Like, you ain't lying. You dealing with somebody from the zoo. He pees in bottles, and our 6-year-old almost drank it one time. What is going on, y'all? What am I reading right now? This is disgusting. This is what I'm saying. Y'all know what's going on behind the scenes where everything looks good sometimes. This is what people are dealing with. I didn't want to clean it up anymore because it's disgusting. And I feel he should. But we had the exterminator coming and I didn't want to be embarrassed by all the nasty things. Y'all got to step into some of these people's homes because there's some interesting stuff going on. I'm not even physically attracted to him anymore. I am completely turned off from this marriage. I want to make things work, but I don't know how to. We've tried counseling, but he says he knows all that the counselor is saying. How do I stay in a relationship with someone who I no longer respect and someone who isn't being a godly leader? Yes, I know I should have ran at the red flags, but I didn't. It's been 5 years and I'm just over it all. What y'all think? In the chat, put a 1 if she should stay and try to work things out because it's not like he's cheating on her or anything like that. Put a 1 if she should stay, work things out, try to get more counseling or do something. Put a 2 in the chat if you say, it couldn't be me. Because it's been 5 years, she said, I'm just over it all. They tried counseling, and he says he knows all the things that the counselor is saying. I don't know what more she can do if they went to counseling. Shout out to Kojak saying number 2. Exactly. And shout out to Kia as well. I see you in the chat. I appreciate you for being here. But let me know what y'all think. Would y'all stick it out and just keep on cleaning the pee that he keep on putting in these bottles? I don't know. Because they've tried counseling. I don't know what else to recommend. You can pray about it too, but you got to have action as well as you're doing this. You got to have some action. Shout out to King J. Sean with 2 as well. So that's the verdict right now. As I don't see any more responses, I'm just going to say 2 on that one. Okay? What I'm going to do at this point is play a video, right? I know most of y'all know who Blueface is. Blueface is a rapper, had a hit song called Tatiana at one point. Bust Down Tatiana and all of that. There's a video where he took his baby mother, one of his baby mothers. I don't even know what this girl's name is, but the other one is Krishan. Most of y'all know they have this interesting relationship, but he took one of his other baby mamas out who's beefing with his baby mama who's currently pregnant for him. Krishan. It's so confusing. But anyway, he took his one baby mama out, and I'm gonna show you what's going on because he has a son. His son was so rebellious towards him, and this guy is like a little young guy, however old he is, but he was so rebellious towards his father, and I want you to see what bad parenting in private looks like in public. So let's get into this.
Is there ever gonna be a day where both of your baby moms are cordial? Yeah, eventually, I'm sure. She said she wasn't with it.
Is that what you want though?
I'm gonna skip some of this as we get into the actual video where he's coming into the shop. So let's get into it here. Okay, so he has one of his children in his hand right now, and then his son's gonna come in just a second. But his son is gonna be giving his mother a hard time.
So we gotta get the whole. We gotta get. Pull him in there. Huh? Pull him in there. Stop playing. Oh shit.
The question is, what
And the kid don't want to pull up. Hey, Drew, what's going on in there?
Hey man, sometimes the kids don't want to come in, man. You know what I mean? It might
We
be
got some shoes for you.
might be time to take a nap or something.
Hey, what's going on?
couldn't be me.
Nah. My boy about to be a football star. We got ice cream. We got more than just shoes over here.
We gonna get him right.
We're gonna get him right, man. What you been up to, man?
Vibing, man.
Vibing?
Yeah, you know the deal.
The new music. You saw the new music video?
Man, I'm been having. I just played it like 10 minutes ago.
My
Blow
nigga.
shit back, man.
Been having.
Hey, that music video, viral.
Shit, he's strong out.
in the car! No! Stay in the No, you're not!
Get on my shoulders.
No! Go back to the car!
Come on.
Please!
Feisty, bro. It's feisty.
Let me go!
I'll let him go on you. Better take care of us, or I'm gonna let him go on you.
Not you.
Stop!
My boy is on summer school, so he said he don't need no shoes. What size shoe do you wear?
What size shoe you wear?
I'm not getting
Why not? You don't like sneakers?
No!
So who we getting dripped out? We getting you dripped out?
Stop!
You
We
dripped
gonna
out?
get her dripped
Yeah,
up.
me and her.
So Drew, what we got for them?
What size
What
you wear?
size?
I'm not
I'm an
getting
8.
8 in women?
Uh-huh.
8 in women, 6
Yeah,
and a
we're
half in
6,
kids.
yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. So we right here in this little section right here.
Yeah, I just got beat up. He just beat
Oh,
me up.
no.
I said I don't
Talking about
want
kids.
to.
Let me see.
Hey yo! You punching now, man? This shit crazy.
And they got the nerve to be laughing about that. That's what's killing me.
Oh man.
Hey
I'm not
yo!
rocking with them.
Hey,
Hey
yeah.
yo! This is deja vu for me.
You know what I'm saying?
Smacking
Right.
shoes.
Damn.
Hey, that
know you got
new
that
music video doesn't ask you, man.
Fucking with it.
I'm fucking with it, but how do you?
Excuse the language on this.
That ass, I'm thinking about how do you get 4 to 5 pregnant women in your video?
Casting call is
How do you? Yeah, where do you? How do you find
Man, I got-
women that are down that are pregnant? Their baby daddies ain't tripping?
That was just cool.
I got everything at the tip
You
of
got
my
some green ones?
fingertips, man.
Like
Right
the-
here.
like
One
the army
post.
green?
One post.
Okay.
I could get you knocked off.
Salute, salute.
But yeah, what did you think?
That's viral. That shit is dope.
Alright.
The song's
Let me know
go
something
great. You
then.
know
Let
I'm
me know
always fucking with your
something
videos, man.
You like it?
Stop!
Alright. He like it.
Oh yeah, you'll probably like those, the Bart Simpson ones.
Yeah, but I'm fucking with that.
That's Spice, right?
Hold up. We're going to have to rewind that one. Hold up.
Videos, man.
You like it?
Stop!
Alright. He like it.
Oh yeah, you'll probably like those, the Bart Simpson ones.
Yeah, but I'm fucking with that.
That's Spice, right?
I'm fucking with these. Yeah.
That's how you feeling? Alright.
Put that in the
Summer
side.
rock.
Let me see.
It's a crib right there. That's a little young. You gonna punch me in my shit.
Let's talk about you actually, because I just
Yeah.
seen on the
Exactly.
I just seen on the internet that once you have your child, she's gonna be the one taking care of it.
What do you think about that?
I don't know, man.
The siblings.
That shit. Yeah, you gotta keep the family
You gotta
close.
keep it.
But what happens? If she's not with it. Then what?
Right.
Then what are you gonna do?
That's on.
You're gonna have to fight custody and shit.
Nah, shit.
But you cool with him and his old little baby mama drama going on?
Well, I'm not cool with it. I just.
You just deal with
I
it.
accept him for who he is.
How long?
And see, that's the thing. She accepts him for who he is. That's what I'm trying to let y'all know is that we try to change people all the time and say, okay, they are like this, but if I do this, it'll change them to be like this. That's not the equation. It's called whatever is on the left equals what's on the right. It's as simple as that. It's like you cannot change. However they came to you is how they're going to be. And she's accepting the drama. That's what she likes. That's what she's attracted to. And most women today are dealing with these same situations where he currently has another woman pregnant. But this is another one of his baby mamas here, I guess, that has the 2 children that you see today. Those are his and her 2 children. But he has another baby on the way with another woman and playing back and forth with the both of them. And that's acceptable. And that's why that child is so rebellious. He sees what's going on, punching his father, acting a fool with the mother and father. One, he's probably mad at the mother because she's taking all that bull from the father. And then secondly, he's mad at the father all because the father has shown that he's not the man that he should be.
Hey, y'all been together?
A 10 piece.
10 years? Oh, so you've been with him before the fame and before the money.
Hold up. This girl says she's been with him for double-digit years. She's been with this man for 10 years. What are y'all doing? How old is Blueface anyway? Probably 20-something or 26. She's been with him for 10 years since basically he was 16 years old, girl. You playing games. And he done got another girl pregnant. So were you with him this whole time even when he got the other girl pregnant or what? And y'all let me know. I don't know too much about Blueface or nothing like that, but I came across this video on my YouTube feed and I said, I got to check this out.
For all the clout.
Yeah.
Oh, so damn. Okay, you a real one then.
Kobe's.
Real as they get. You see what
That
I'm saying? Yeah, I like it
Yeah,
here.
look.
Like-
Let 'em know.
Okay. Y'all got your little secret handshake for a decade plus. All right. But you're a strong woman, that ass, because
I appreciate
I've
that.
been with a lot of girls in my lifetime, but you keeping it real with them. That's
She
not.
thugging, yeah,
That's
she's
dope.
thugging.
Billie Eilish.
These mirrors, who?
Billie
I'm
Eilish.
throwing them out there. These for you.
Billy.
Billie Eilish, this hers.
She probably don't. Do you know who Billie Eilish is?
You got
The singer? Yeah.
You're not messing with me. Billy.
Sorry.
Man, fucking with it.
All right, I'm going to be skipping through this because I want to get to the main thing where his son keep acting a fool. That's what matters the most. Let's see here. Because he's going to keep acting a fool on a couple occasions. And that's why I want to point out to y'all is that literally Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they grow old, they will not depart. But when they acting a fool in public, it's all because they've been acting a fool in private and they just laugh about it.
Why you don't want no shoes?
Cause
You be taking boxing classes? The way you was doing all this earlier, I was like, damn, this dude a professional. But why? What happened? You had a long day today? What happened before this? You don't wanna,
He was asleep.
Oh, you were asleep.
You know how that goes.
See, I'm not used to kids and stuff, so when kids wake up from sleep is how they act.
Yeah.
They're grumpy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't recommend.
For those who have kids, y'all kids, when they first wake up, do they be acting like that? They be pushing and shoving on you? Can you let me know in the chat? Okay, because I know Mona has 3 that she can testify about, and I know they not pushing on Mona or her husband. So let me know, y'all, in the chat. Anybody else who had young children at some point in time, the kids act like that? Because let me not sign up if that's the case. There's no way. And if they gonna act like that, they gonna stop because you gonna let them know what time it is. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Okay, you're gonna have to use that belt. You're gonna have to do something. Like, not mine. Clap it up for the parents who are actually parents out here today. Thank you. Thank you for being a real parent. Thank you for setting the standard, because everybody else thinks it's okay to be best friends with your kids. You can laugh and have a great time with your children, but there's a time for play and there's a time for we gonna have to get it together.
I'm gonna keep a distance because he might strike me the way I was seeing him strike both of y'all. Yeah, I'm keeping my distance.
Yeah, he was nice. I
Call
fuck with
it Montreal Bagel.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, Montreal Bagel.
Fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like that.
Fire.
I told her I'm on my way. Not even on my way.
What you mean?
I said, I told her I'm on my way. Not even on my way. Y'all know what that means? That man know what I.
Let's continue, because I know this child gonna keep acting a fool throughout this video, which is a sad part about it. Let's see. Here we go again. Here we go.
Hey, this is the victim right here. Hey, this is the victim right here. This is the dude. Hey, chat, we got a legend in the building. We got Blueface in the building right now, chat.
We gotta go to the building.
We gotta go.
Oh man. Oh shit.
We live right now. We live.
Oh, we in the
They're going crazy right now.
Yeah.
You got any questions for this beautiful couple right here, John? Because you was doing a great job on the last episode.
I was, right?
Yeah.
Give us some good questions.
Give us some good questions, man.
I got some questions.
Wait,
Let's see.
you better go to the notepad?
Nah. I don't know.
They going crazy in the chat for Blueface right now.
You know, it's crazy because last time there was something going on. It was like a TikTok that went viral. I don't know if y'all seen it. It was a TikTok that went viral of me, basically.
Yeah.
But well, we don't got to talk about that.
You was looking at it a certain a female in a certain way. Was it?
Yeah, because they was talking about I was looking at her. All right, look, bro.
They always do that. I feel like they be doing that for me though. Like,
Really?
Get you jealous?
fuck around here.
Yeah, bro, they did the same shit. I was looking on some normal shit,
Nah, they
but
do that
my
shit
lips
on
was
every-
chapped and they was
little
like,
shit.
Oh, the
how's y'all relationship?
the chat?
Is this a relationship? It is, right?
Are y'all officially back together?
Family, man. This is family.
This is family business.
Once you have kids with somebody, that's not relational. You just tied in forever. That's literally forever type of thing.
Family.
And I'm gonna stop this right now because one thing they're mentioning is that they're asking, are they together? And then Blueface is like, this family. More so they tied in together forever. And see, that's the thing. When you have two ratchet baby mamas, like she considered ratchet and then the other one, Krishan. She literally fights back and forth with Blueface. It's a whole mess, y'all. But it's gonna be a mess because the baby mamas don't like each other, and I don't know if there's gonna be any time in which they start liking each other at all. And that's the thing, when you don't have the women in check and the women don't have respect and you got all this confusion going on, it's just not gonna be a good light. It's not gonna be a good thing. But shout out to Broken Traditions. He said, bad tree provided bad fruit, plain and simple. Exactly. How can we expect more of their children than we expect of them? I agree 100%.
I like that. I respect it. That's good. Wait, y'all have kids together, right? These two? Wait, these are your two kids?
They've been together for a decade. I salute that.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for y'all.
That's dope. That's actually goals, honestly.
I like that.
I aspire to be that way.
I like that a lot, actually. That's what's up.
Hey, Blue, the chat said, who got your other baby moms pregnant if it wasn't you?
It's a good question. Shit.
That's a great question, chat.
Can only hope for the best.
Damn. You turned down it.
He said double or nothing.
Thinking about it.
I don't want any.
He like, yeah, hold on, wait, baby.
Hold on.
You use it for me, but
Fortnite.
That's a lot of B-boys. That's a lot of skins.
All right, forget you then. Huh?
When the next box?
And he's so used to throwing money at his women that when his son, he tries to give it to his son is not impressed by that. That's the thing. Everybody doesn't move for money. Shout out to the people out there who have dignity enough that you can throw me a 5, a 10, a 15, or a 20, like what he's trying to do to his son to make his son get on his side. But that doesn't entice him. You're dealing with the wrong type of women that jump at you because of the money you have. The dollar signs, the green faces. Not for who you are. That's not it. She's signing up because of that lifestyle, because of the money you have.
Boxing match. You got another boxing match coming?
Nah, not nothing planned, but hopefully soon, man. I'm waiting for them to.
Anybody want to fight?
Up the price,
right?
Beside me?
Yeah, they got.
He brought the viewers out.
Literally, you seen that?
Yeah, that is. You know what? I wanted to salute you. Your TV show's going OD viral, by the way.
Sure, bro.
That shit, I respect that. I know you're securing the bag with that
You know,
one.
everything I do go viral.
They do. That's why you've been in the game for a minute now.
Yeah.
And you're still on top.
Viral.
What's next for you outside the TV show and like some music stuff? Any other projects you're working on?
Yeah, I've been just dropping hella music lately just to get back to the basics and shit.
I seen a new video. You just dropped a new video.
Yeah,
Right?
fuck with it.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna keep going. He's just ignorant. This is why
Are
I'm
you the
trying to show
first
you.
rapper to do that? Because Soulja Boy always say you're the first rapper. Are you the first rapper to do that?
That's fine. Wait, so when'd y'all meet? Where'd y'all meet?
Yeah, how's that love story? I don't know if you ever talked about
We
that.
met in PE class. I'm gonna tell you how it went.
Yeah, talk to
I
us.
was in PE.
Okay.
Like a little semester, you know, extra credit and shit, you know. So I've been walking out the locker room, she on me like, oh, who is that? Yeah, the new kid in school? She's like, yeah, it's me, what's happening? Feel me, check it out. So I did a lap around the track. She was eyeing me.
Okay.
While I was doing my laps, I was eyeing her.
Okay.
And then,
then what?
and after that, we just fucked.
No.
Then they got that
Yeah, this is what he thinks of her, just as a sex object. It is what it is.
Hey. Long story short, yeah.
Long story short.
She been with me ever since.
Respect. So you done? You out the game?
So that's your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, time
So are you done?
Done what?
Done
what?
With relationships?
You out the game?
Are you out the game? Are you one and done now?
Fold my money. Show my money. Am I winning? What?
Are you gonna just stay with her the rest of your life?
Nah.
Why you saying no? For him. Hey yo. Damn.
You know your mama, don't you?
You heard what the little boy said when they asked Blueface if he's going to be staying with his baby mama right here for forever. He answers no. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes, y'all.
No, hold this money for me. At least he's standing on his shit.
Hey, he's 10 toes.
He's not budging.
I like that. Respect. You know, there's talks, right, that he might have another kid soon. Possibly. I don't know how you feel about that. First of all, you saying no, it's 100% not true.
Allegedly.
Allegations are saying he's gonna have another kid.
Are you confident enough to give a DNA test later?
Accusations.
Respect.
False accusations.
Okay. So, how do you feel about that? If there was a third child in the house, like, would you still hold it down for him and still be around and do what you gotta do for him at the end of the day? And the kid?
It's a bridge we gotta cross when we get there, because this is still a little
new?
Yeah.
How you feel about her?
Not a fan.
Not a fan of her?
No, pass.
I feel that.
So you wouldn't even ever be cordial with her, ever?
No.
Why not?
I just think there's too much going on.
But he'd be so on and off with you and her.
But that's what he do. I don't got nothing to do with that.
I feel that.
What he do on that house ain't got nothing to do with money.
So you worried about you and your house, what it should be?
I mean, yeah, the shit with him, that's all I can worry about.
That's facts. I feel that. So what is y'all like? How is it raising like these two kids? How's it been y'all two? Has it been a roller coaster?
Oh, for sure, but it's great.
Good.
He's a great dad. He's a nutcase, but we getting it. I'm proud of him.
Is this stressful? Every morning there's a new news article about this whole drama situation, and then now it's all on TV and there's a whole show about it. How do you deal with all that shit? I know I get a lot of negative comments and shit. Like, what do you?
Yeah, I mean, I just stay on my side. There's too much to worry about over there.
You get a lot of hate?
For sure. I talk to Lisa and get the most hate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there anything like you want to do or anything like you pursuing in general?
I think I'm done having kids for now, so I think I'm just starting to get back to like feeling like myself again and like just breaking out and shit, wherever the world takes us, where we going?
Does she have Jonathan's pushes tatted like Krishan?
See, this is another ignorant thing, is that she literally has his, because Krishan is the other baby mama. She has the words Jonathan's P word tatted on her. Okay? That's the first thing y'all gotta understand. It's the other baby mama. And this baby mama here literally has a tattoo of his name on her behind.
Yeah.
She switched it up.
Yeah. Wherever the world takes us, where we going?
Does she have Jonathan's pushes tatted? Krishan.
No. I got his name on my ass though.
Bro?
Yeah.
She switched.
And the sad part about it, these women be getting these tattoos of men's names on them, knowing that this stuff is not meant to be. At least let them be a husband first. Let him be a husband first.
I asked you.
I would get married, but I don't know if that's his plan in life.
So you cool with never being married, as long as you with him?
No, I'm gonna get married. So
Oh, you gonna get married?
either he's on it or he's not. Get married.
I said you gonna get married.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I ain't mad at that.
So somebody got a spicy question. Last time Blueface had intercourse with Krishan, and they're trying to spice shit up in the chat.
You said the last time I did?
Yeah, when's the last time you had sex with her?
Shit. Alright, about a week ago.
He literally embarrasses this woman. Krishan is the other ex, and they had the nerve to ask him when's the last time he had intercourse with this woman. He said about a week ago. He's flexing like that's a joke in front of the woman that he supposedly loves, which obviously he ain't got no love for this woman. He may have love for her, but he's not in love with her, to say the least. So he's talking about, I just had intercourse with the other girl about a week ago, and making a joke about it and smiling around this woman, and she's looking stupid because she don't know what's going on. She's out the loop anyway.
I'll play. Shit, Jaden about to drop her his single.
Is she?
She's about to drop her his single.
Might be in the works.
Okay.
You taking shots at anybody?
Enough of them. I'm done with them. I'm done with Blueface. That's enough Blueface for the rest of the year. Y'all, some of y'all may watch the show. I've never watched this show before, but all I know is that this is what's being represented to the youth. For those who are keeping up with Blueface, I mean, he has millions of followers, right? So I know that there are young people who are looking up to him and saying, oh, he has money. He has rings on every finger, which is totally unnecessary and ignorant. What does your savings look like, sir? But these women are going after him and saying he's fine, he's this and that, but has no brains, has no plan, and is only thinking about himself. And obviously his children are of his least priority, because the way his son treated him shows that he's not parenting like he should be, and it shows neglect as well. All right. So I'm glad y'all feel the same way about Buy the Blueface. I'm going to get into this main post I came across right quick on Facebook, where a woman said she was married to a man for about 1.5 years now. They've been together for a few years, and he totally changed this to somebody else once they got married. Let's read this. I want to know, if you were her, would you stay or would you leave? Before I post this below, no rude or judgmental comments. That's what she said. And see, the thing is that we may not be rude to you, right? We're taught not to be rude to you, but judging the situation, of course we're going to do that because we have to give you sound advice. And that sometimes comes with judgment. But she said, I'm just in need for advice. My husband and I have been married for 1.5 years. We have been together for 6. And see, that's the thing itself, is that no man, especially 4.5 years y'all been dating, right? 4.5 years y'all been dating. There's no way a man who's a Christian man, who is not fornicating with you, would be talking to you or courting you for 4.5 years. So I'm saying, in my opinion, there had to be some type of fornication going on or something, because that's just such a long timeline. Unless y'all were really young, but I don't know. I'm just making my assumptions right now. When I married my husband, he turned into a completely different man. He wasn't this God-loving, caring, kind, and helping person anymore. Since we got married, my husband has turned into this selfish person who puts me down and makes comments about my weight. He's been physical with me in fights, resulting in him telling me he's sorry and that he's not going to do it again. He tells me no matter what I do job-wise, that is not good enough. He tells me that he's not attracted to me anymore with how much weight I have gained since being married to him. He called me fat, whore, slut, and a dog, and that if we ever got a divorce, that no one will want me because of the way I look. He gets upset when I dress up to go out with my friends or for family events. He's told me that if he can't have me, then no one can have me. He's controlling to the point of wanting to know my location and where I'm at all times. At the beginning of our marriage, I was working in childcare, and he told me I wasn't making enough money, so he wanted me to quit my job and find something that paid better money. When I got a better job and started to make more money to make him happy, he got mad and upset with me because I was never home to do housework to fulfill his needs. He's our main source of income at the moment. He takes great pride and joy with how much money he makes. He is money driven. He doesn't get me a gift without asking for something in return. Here recently, he's been asking me to become more independent and not rely solely on him. With that being said, I've been going to the gym and working out. I got into reading books and more of the Bible. I've gained confidence in myself and what I'm doing. When he looks at me and sees all that, he gets mad and upset because I quit relying on him. He doesn't like me working out because he's afraid guys at the gym will hit on me. With all that being said, he constantly asks for sex. There are times where I'll give in to make him happy, so I don't have to hear him yell or complain to me how I'm not in the mood. Even when I tell him I'm not in the mood, he still wants sex. It's to the point where if I don't give him sex, then he makes threats that he will take his own life by shooting himself with his gun. He's told me numerous times that when he does off himself, that it will be my fault. He blames me for all of his wrongdoing. It has taken a turn for the worse last night. I went to bed after I got home from church. I woke up from a deep sleep to feel my husband touching all over me and trying to get inside me. He didn't ask if I was in the mood to have sex at all. He just got off and went to sleep and when he finished. I'm needing advice. I've talked to his mom some about all of this. She doesn't know all the details. I've also talked to my parents about some, and they don't know the whole story. I haven't said much to my parents because I was sexually assaulted growing up, and they hid it from my entire family. My family is big in church, so they hid it and didn't speak on it. My parents and his mom have told me to stay with him and just pray about it and work things out. Honestly, I'm tired. I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically tired. Every day is a battle for me. I pray so much and I don't know what to do. I'm just needing some advice. Please don't judge me on why I've stayed so long. I have reasons why. Thank you. I see the red all through the chat. I see all the red flags. I see it. But the question is, would you stay with this? Would you stay? This is literally a life or death situation, in my opinion. And that's why I'm going to go back and break it down for us and let you know how this really resonated with me, because I've gone through some similar stuff, right? And that's why I tell you, most of us don't look like what we've been through. Truthfully, we don't. But I'm going to get into my commentary on this. It's often I see that a lot of women, they get married to a man, but before they were married to that man, he was nice, loving, and kind. And all of a sudden, now he's calling you out your name. He's saying this and that. He's the breadwinner. So you're dependent on him, and you don't have an education. You don't have anything to fall back on. I don't care who you are, woman or man. You need to make sure that you have some type of education. You have something going for yourself, just because of something may happen. There may be a moment where you have to remove yourself. Let's talk about it. Derek Jackson, when he was with Danae at the time. Danae Jackson was like ride or die with him. Ride or die, especially when they got together when they were younger. She didn't have anything going on, but she was a wife and she was a mother, and that was it. No fallback plan or anything. Now she's getting herself together, charging people $7,000 for a coaching course to help you get through your healing, which God can help you do that for free, but she's charging y'all $7,000 for that. But back to my main point here is that you got to have something to fall back on. You got to have some type of skills for yourself. Otherwise, you'll just be known as a mother and a wife, and them titles are worthy. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying it's not enough when you come to a situation where you're dependent on this man for income, and he's treating you like crap in the process. What are you going to do? Are you going to have to go to the streets or go in a shelter? These are situations that can happen. But back to what I'm trying to say here is that, one, they got married and he became selfish. He became selfish and he put her down and made comments about her weight. That's one person you don't want to hear that, oh, you getting heavy. You don't want to hear that from your significant other. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear encouraging words to say, I'm going to get it right because I did fall off. I fell off because, hey, I can put on this happy weight, or I stopped because, or whatever. It wasn't purposeful, but things happen. We all gain weight at some point in time. If you don't, shout out to you. But for us who are living in reality, sometimes we do pick up a few pounds here or there. And it's easy to be able to get off if we focus on it and we have a good support system. And not somebody who's telling us constantly about what we're doing wrong. But instead tell us what we can do right and work on it with me as a team. But one thing that just turned me off the rip is that he's been physical with you in fights. He's been physical with you in fights, talking about he's sorry and that he's not going to do it again. And then let it happen again, and he going to tell you he's sorry, he's not going to do it again. Until it's up to you. Sometimes we overstay our stay. We in that extended stay. I've talked about it before. Early check-in to your life, late checkout, and you have associated fees. All mentally, spiritually, and even physically sometimes. All right? But when you talk about somebody physically abusing you, and he's also verbally abusing you, this paragraph could have been much shorter. But another thing is that she's working, and he's going to tell her what she's doing is not good enough. Not good enough for who? Because you're the man. You're supposed to be the provider, sir. She's working a job, which is better than what some women are doing. She's working a job, but you're telling her that job is not good enough. So you're constantly putting her down. And then as soon as because later on she's going to say that she obviously got a better job, and then he start hating on her for that. Like D if you do, D if you don't. That's what it sounds like. But calling you fat, a whore, a slut, and a dog, that's the lowest of the lowest. Listen to the words and listen to the anger that's coming out that person's mouth, because it's not you. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the fact that that person is hurt inside of them. It's nothing you can do to change how that person thinks about themselves. That's what it is, and they're giving that reflection off on you. She said he gets upset when I dress up to go out with my friends or for family events. I'll never forget. There were times for me where, with my previous ex I had, right? There were times for me where I say, oh, I'm planning to hang out with my best friend in a few weeks. My female best friend, of course, because I didn't have any male friends. But I said, I'm about to hang with my best friend in a few weeks. He feels some type of way and kind of get mad. It's just the simple things like that. You wonder, why would you be mad with me that I'm going to fellowship with my friend? Or let me say, one of my female cousins, me and her going to hang out. Of course, I'm going to respect you whether I'm with you or without you. But obviously, it's something in you to think about what you going to do when you get with somebody. So you're thinking, I'm going to do the same thing. No. That's why people always project sometimes their insecurities onto other people. Yeah, pay attention to that. They don't want you to fellowship with your family and your friends. People who you knew before them. That's a problem. That's control. You only got to stay with me and be with me only. That's a no-no. But you can't go out, you can't do nothing. What type of life is that? Because it's not just going to be us two. We have lives outside of each other. It doesn't just get shut off when we say I do. He told me that if he can't have me, then no one can have me. And that's a whole threat. That's a whole threat. You shouldn't take that lightly. You can't take that lightly that someone could think they have so much control over you. Wow, he even wants to know your location. Let me tell you about this. I had to go through this with my last relationship where he wanted to have my location. So I was like, okay, we both share locations. I was sharing my location. He wasn't sharing his. He would get mad and stop sharing his location. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth because of what he said he did. Oh, I did this in my previous relationship. We shared locations then, so I need to do this now. I'm not the past girl, so therefore we're not going to be having that same foundation that y'all had that obviously didn't work. I'm not about to follow everything y'all did because this is what people do. They go into new relationships repeating the same stuff they did in previous ones, expecting different outcomes. It doesn't work that way. I'm not following the blueprint for your bull S, okay? I'm not following it. I'm sorry. So I've dealt with that too. And I don't know what y'all think about that, but when it comes to locations, I was sending it for the purpose of safety. If something happened, then you would know where I'm at. But not for you to be following my every move. So if I'm not texting you quick enough, then here you go. Oh, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Blowing me up. No, you need to have a life just like I have one. And I'm never the person that just like goes somewhere or hangs with somebody and doesn't inform them, oh, I'm about to hang with such and such. So if you don't hear from me, this is where I'm at. It's all about communication, but people have taken boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife sometimes out of context and think it's like, I own you. And that's it. I'm sorry. Let's continue this. She said, I was working in childcare, and I wasn't making enough money. So he wanted me to quit so that I could find better money. And well, who is this money going to? Because he needs to quit and find him a better job while he's trying to check for you. Because one thing I can tell you is ain't nobody checking for me.
Who gonna check me, boo?
No, it's not happening. I'm sorry. And then as soon as you get the better job, he gets mad because you're literally neglecting the household now because you have to put in hours for your job. What did you expect? When I have to have better pay, then that means less time towards things you want me to do. You can't have it both ways. We both working people here. Now, if you make me a housewife, then I can be able to fulfill the needs, the housework you need done. But if I don't have that time, just like you don't have that time, sir, you can't put that on me and expect just because I'm a woman for me to fulfill all of those needs when we're both working full-time jobs. And he's the main source of income. I understand that. So if he's the main source, then he don't need your small source, right? Like he's telling you it's a small source. He don't need your little money. So I would just be working at the house or doing what I want there since he wants those duties to be fulfilled so badly. And like you said, he's money driven and he doesn't give me a gift without asking for something in return. I don't like that. That's not how relationships are. Literally, we're keeping a tally about who bought this at this time. And okay, since he paid $50 for this gift, I got to get him a $50 gift, or tit for tat like that. That's not how relationships work. That's not how friendships work. We're not keeping this log about who bought this and who bought that. Instead, we just do it out the kindness of our heart, not expecting anything in return. That's what I think. Let me know what y'all think in this chat. I appreciate y'all for being here. It's just a mess, to say the least. Let's see. He's recently been asking me to become more independent and not solely rely on him. Oh yeah, this is the biggest one right here. I've been going to the gym and working out. And he doesn't like me working out because he's afraid guys at the gym will hit on me. I literally have dealt with this to the point where I gained about 20 pounds in a few months. I think that I had stopped working out for about 6 months, I want to say. I think it was about 6 months. I stopped working out for 6 months. Maybe that's correct. I gained 20 pounds. But it wasn't based off my own choice. Let me say this. It was based off my own choice because I could have just got out of that relationship, but stayed in it because of familiarity, because of loyalty, because of filling the blank, because of nonsense. I was in a relationship where when we first started the relationship, I had a trainer. I was dealing with. And my trainer was married and everything, and there was nothing going on whatsoever. My trainer even offered, after I told my trainer how my significant other had his doubts about you as a trainer, you training me. My trainer was like, hey, have him come up to the gym and meet my family. I want him to become comfortable with the fact that you train here. And the thing about it is that my ex, at that time when I was dating him, he already knew that I had this male trainer. He already knew that was going on, and there was no problem all those months we were talking. He never brought it up until we got into a relationship talking about it's going to be me or him, or I can train you. I'm like, this man is certified. Why am I getting you to train me? You're not certified or anything. So I'm just saying, I went with him because he shows the results that he had. And that's why I decided to get him as my trainer. But he was like, you're going to quit the trainer you quit the trainer or go with me. You quit the trainer and go with me or I'm gone. That's what he was doing as an ultimatum for my health. And I'm saying to myself, I'm trying to get right. I'm losing weight. I'm not doing nothing. But he wanted to control that. And as a result, I quit my trainer. at that time. I did, all because I said, okay, I want to show him I'm loyal. And that's what I did at that time. And then it just ended up being worse after that. It's not like I quit my trainer and then everything started becoming beautiful, sunshine, flowers, and roses. No, it started becoming hell after that. You do one thing and then they're going to find the next thing for you to do. It's like task after task after task, and there's no end. As soon as I quit my trainer, the next thing he wanted me to do was quit going to my gym, period. Even though I was going to my trainer's gym to train with him. That's another gym. And then I was going to my main gym. He wanted me to also quit my main gym, stop working out, because I was starting to lose weight and all of that. Literally, I was FaceTiming him one day going into the gym to let him know, ain't nothing going on. I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible. I'm FaceTiming him on my way into the gym. The person at the front desk said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. How are you? Will you believe that he hung up on me on FaceTime? He hung up on me because I said, I'm doing fine. How are you? I'm greeting the greeter who greeted me. That's what I had to go through, y'all. That's just a little bit of what I had to go through. Nice looking guy and everything, but had all these insecurities to think that it was more than what it was. Anything. I can't greet somebody without you thinking that somebody want me. I've been through it. That's why I resonate with this. Like she said about he was worried about guys hitting on him. I would go to the mall. Me and him would go to the mall. We're walking in the mall. From the corner of my eye, I see a guy who's walking past and looking at me. He would like literally make noise like, oh, what they looking at? We can't even go into a mall, go into a public place without him thinking somebody wanted me or looking at me. We were at Five Guys one time. We're coming into the door. They're looking at us because we're coming into the door. He's mad because they're looking at me. His eyes turn bloodshot red. And I said, calm down. It's not that serious. And thankfully he calmed down because he saw somebody he knew at the Five Guys. But why are your eyes getting bloodshot red? Why are you getting so worked up? Because the person that you're with is getting some attention. And he wasn't used to that, I guess, because the woman he was with in the past was a mud duck at best. But had a body, so that was what he was attracted to. That's it. But didn't have anything of substance, didn't really look good in the face. So now that he has somebody that he thinks looks decent, he sees people are looking at me, that's why he stopped me going to the gym. It was just a mess. And that's why I resonate with this so much, because no matter where your girl is at, you should appreciate that your girl looks good. You should appreciate that other guys recognize that. That means you have a prize, and appreciate that prize. All right, and I see y'all in the chat. I appreciate y'all for being here. It's just too much going on. It's too much. But now that she's losing the weight, he's constantly asking for the sex. Now, that's what she's saying. He's constantly asking for that. And even when she's not in the mood. And I understand, see, that's the thing. There's a thing where let's say you were doing it a lot before you got married, and then you get married now and you're not doing it as often, they're going to look at it like, what's going on with that frequency? That's why I say only keep up the consistency that you can keep up with. Don't tell somebody you're going to sleep with them X amount of days a week, and then now you backing up off of that. Keep that same energy. Whatever you started with is what you're going to have to do. I know life be lifing, but that's just the way men see it. That's why I say the conversations you have early on are so important. There's no reason, if you're sleeping, you're in a deep sleep, and he's trying to touch all over you and all of that, and didn't even ask you if you wanted to participate. That's just forceful. That's a problem. Y'all going to have to conversate. But I wouldn't be conversating with him, because this man already proved to you that he's a whole fool. He said if he ends up offing himself, that it's going to be her fault. And if he has a gun, honey, there's no reason to be in this relationship with, no reason to be married to this man no more, because he's obviously, he don't have all of his brain power. He don't have all of his brain power. The math, it definitely ain't mathing up there, and I wouldn't be dealing with that for my safety. And the sad part about it is that you have family members. You have family members who are telling you that you need to pray about it and work things out. They're going to be working out your funeral arrangements if you don't get out of there. I'm so serious. You don't try to be harsh about these topics, but when you're hearing all this stuff about how the way he's acting, he's jealous of you, you can never be good enough for him. You can get a better job, you can lose weight, and you can do this, but he has a problem about something. You'll never have peace until you're resting in it. So it's best for you to get out of this now. And y'all let me know in the chat. 1, if you will stay. 1, if you will stay. And a 2, if you will be on your way out the door. 1, if you stay in. 2, if you're on your way out the door. Because if you stay and deal with this, then that means that you love to have a chaotic life. And some people just love it. They can't function without chaos. But I'm not about that. I see some 2s. Can I get a little 2? Can I get a little beep beep as I'm walking out that door? No, matter of fact, Usain bolting out that door. But what I want to do is give a quick shout out to the Do Better podcast. My guy Theo, of course, I appreciate you for the $10. Thank you for the love. Yeah, shout out to Theo on his way to that 50K, okay? And shout out to Grown Folk Talk. I saw you here as well. That's Theo's sister. She got her 1K and she's only up from there. So I salute everybody on these YouTube streets trying to get it. Mona's on her way to 1K, and anybody else who's doing her thing. I know Christina's on her way to 1K as well. So I just support all of the local content creators, not even just local, but local to the people I deal with. We're all different areas, different regions, but we all come together for one common goal. So I appreciate y'all so much for the love. I see them 2s. Yes, I see those 2s. I'm about to make a whole record. I'm about to break a whole record running out of that, because if you don't get out of it now, then we could literally be talking about you in past tense, and I'd rather not be doing that. So many signs. And this is the biggest thing I want to talk about right here. My parents knew that she said my parents knew I was sexually assaulted growing up. And they hid it from my entire family. I'm so tired of y'all church folk, and I'm going to say this as loud as possible. I'm so tired of y'all church folk that want to hide stuff from people. Hiding is equivalent to lying, almost. Hiding is the equivalent of lying, because you're hiding things that people need to know about. You're hiding things that people need to know about. This child was abused, but y'all hid it under the rug because y'all big in church. Y'all think that y'all want to hide y'all lifestyles and the way y'all are, and if y'all hiding that, y'all hiding a lot of things. Exactly, Christina, thank you. Hiding is agreement. That's exactly what's going on. And shout out to Red Edge as well. Y'all, you so big, y'all so sanctified. Y'all so sanctified that y'all don't think y'all can sin, but y'all really sinning every day, faking the funk. Y'all faking the funk. This child, so many other people out here who have been abused as well. There's literally a story about a young man. There's a story about a young man who was abused by his own parents in the church. He was a pastor and everything. And I'm gonna see if I can pull that up real quick, because I want to talk about that real briefly. That's something that was just came up, because I say that so many people have been abused in the church by the pastors who y'all think are straight, but are as straight as a circle. Seriously, I'm about to pull this up real quick about the young man whose father and mother assaulted him. 1 second. I appreciate y'all for being here though, but it's the last topic for tonight. Yep, I got it right here. His parents used him for their pleasures, and I'm gonna play this because it's so emotional. So let me share my screen and we're going to get into it right now on Chelsea's live line. So let me share. Okay, here we go. Yep, so that's the last thing I'm going to do here is share that video. It's something for those who haven't seen it. It's a mess, and I'm going to get into it. So let me share my screen here, and then go to here. New tab. 1 second here. Okay, yep, here we go. Perfect. Yep, it's a mess for those who have not seen it. We're going to get into it tonight right here. Okay.
And I'd love to tell you about how I became a survivor of being pimped by both of my parents, and also how I survived being incested by both of them. I was born in the city of Memphis, Tennessee. I was reared up in a very religious home in that, we couldn't go to the movies, we couldn't dance, my sister couldn't wear pants. Father was an ordained evangelist of this national church that we were a part of, the largest African-American church in a Pentecostal organization. They taught the wives to take whatever they had to take in order to stay married. And my mother believed that she was a national mother of the church. She offered her children, me and my sister, to my father to be his sexual slaves. There were things that we went through that just, I couldn't imagine any child going through that. My earliest memories around the age of 4. He started by coming in and massaging my leg. And then maybe the next time was my leg in my private area. Then he wanted to perform on me as a child. Then it went into me performing on him. And I also went through, a situation where I was, he was having prison sex with me very often. My sister went through some of the same things, but she went through, to me, it's even worse because eventually she had to have several abortions because of this. And she also was molested by one of his brothers, who also was a minister of the church.
Not the church. Not the church. They talking about the A word in the church. These are your favorite pastors, these big leaders, Kojics and all. Some of y'all pastors, be careful, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, y'all worship these people like they are gods. This is why I'm trying to play this today, to let you know these are some big leaders in the church, but they ain't leading, or they leading y'all. They big leaders, but they leading y'all to hell. They're leading y'all to hell. And they want to tell you they don't have a hell to put y'all in, but they are doing exactly that. They're putting you there before. They're giving you a little taste of what hell is like on earth.
Eventually, our mother started having sex with us also. So you would think a mom would intervene and stop this and let's get away, let's run. No, she eventually wanted to share. I know she liked to do that when he was not there, or when he went away to someone's house, or there were times when he left her. There were times where they were separated and he was gone. He was at a woman's house, a man's house, and there were times where she wanted to molest her. So I mean, it's just, I can't find no other way to say it. We went from being sexual slaves at home to going to church and being pimped to pastors. The church itself has well over 4-5 million members worldwide. It's a large church, and it breaks down into states, and the states break down into jurisdictions. Jurisdictions break down in districts, and then you have a local church. So you got the pastor, you got the superintendent, you got the bishop, and that's pretty much how it's structured. I mean, we were pimped to several bishops in the church. Our father, his role was an evangelist. He was licensed as an evangelist. He traveled around. He preached in different churches, like every Sunday, every other Sunday, or whoever invited him. So we would travel with him to these churches. He would either offer us to be molested, be sexually abused by the pastor of this church, either before, after, or during service at some point. It was either of us, or some were sick enough like to sex molest both of us. So we were molested, in these different places where he went to preach. My mother, she would go and sing a song, and me and my sister, we were sent to the pastor's office, and you know what happens. Like I said, it was a very critical time, very hard time as a kid. Well, the abuse for me went on from the age of 4 up until the age of 12 or 13. So you go from, being a child that could hardly understand sex, don't know anything about sex. Then you get older, you know exactly what's going on. You know what's going to happen. We had a so-called, yes, a normal life in the sense of going to school every day. We went to public school. That was normal in that sense, but the abuse happened, overnight. I can't say that I told anyone. Obviously, I didn't tell a lot of people because, some people didn't find out about it until I started talking about 10 or so years ago. I didn't think to tell a teacher because we were seen as important anyway. We were just two little black kids growing up in a impoverished neighborhood in government apartments. You would think as a teacher, teachers could tell something was going on, but they didn't care. Our voices weren't really heard. Growing up, I remember my room, and I remember going to my room, and I remember where all the pimping began was there were men standing outside my window wanting to get inside my bedroom because obviously my father had told them, you can come into this room and you can have sex with my sons.
Whew. It's one thing. It's horrible any way possible. But you gonna not only sleep with your child yourself, but then you're going to offer your child to other men? Are you crazy? And then this is like, you get the verses such like honor thy mother and father so your days will be long. Right? That's the conflict right there. Like, I know you're supposed to honor your parents, respect your parents, but I don't think that your parents would, if their parents really love you, they wouldn't be doing this to you. So how does that go? Is there an asterisk mark by that honor thy mother and father so your days will be long? I'm just trying to figure that out. When your father or your mother does this, your father and your mother does this, it takes a strong person. Let me just say that. It takes a strong person to honor them. Truly. When these people are standing in line, these pastors are standing in line. And most of them are probably married too, right? Married to women. But going behind their wives' backs and sleeping with innocent children.
You would think that this right here would be traumatic, but I mean, it just got worse and worse and worse. I remember feeling numb a lot as a kid. You can get to the point where it happens so much until you just like are dead. But I remember coming just like I would go to another place, another world when that would happen because it was a world that seemed to be more exciting than one I was allowed to have. Wishing it would be over, just wishing that whatever it was would stop. Pimping was introduced to us, me and my sister. I think I was around about 6 years old. Our mother, she would have what they call fish fries. So she would cook fish, make spaghetti, coleslaw, white bread. They would invite their preacher friends over, and they would feed them, and they would send me and my sister on to our rooms and send the preachers in after us. Some of them like women, some of them like little boys, some of them like little girls, and some of them like both of us. So
let me just say this right here. Y'all not making enough money as pastors pimping off of the pulpit, pimping off of the membership, that you find another way to pimp, literally? I know they're pimping the women in the church as far as... See, this is another thing, what I have about pastors real quick as I get back to this video. There's so many pastors I see who don't want the women in the church. I don't know if y'all seen this as well, but I've seen so many pastors who do not want the women in the church. They say they're looking for a wife or they're a single pastor, but they're going outside of the church home to find that woman. Case in point, Pastor Keon Henderson and Shawnee O'Neal, Shawnee Henderson now, right? Pastor Keon has a big congregation, but he had to go out of his congregation to find his wife. So that's why I say there's a disconnect here as we get back to this topic. There's a disconnect when it relates to pastors and who they really want. They don't want that God-fearing woman that's directly in the church. They want that woman that's out there in the streets a little bit. Some of them that's out there in the streets a little bit. Because most of the women in the church have given themselves up as it relates to, oh, I gotta be modest. That means I'm gonna go look like I'm at, what's that man name? I forgot that one pastor name. They be having these women coming to the congregation looking like slaves. I forgot his name. Gino is his name. Gino Jennings. If y'all look at his recordings on YouTube, the women that come into his church look like Mahalia Jackson, and no man finds that sexually attractive in the church. So that's the thing we have a disconnect about. We say we want the women to be modest. They come in with rags and robes, and they're single. Right? It comes in with these rags and robes, they're single, and then they go out. The pastors will go out into the church. Go out of the church. They'll go to the club first and recruit a godly woman before they find one in that church home. With so many single women coming to your church every week, but I'm going to go outside the church to wife one up. That's what I tell you. Pastors say what they want, but they know they don't want what they say they want. Okay? They say they want that God-fearing woman, but they really want that woman that's out there, and they want her to act right. But since she isn't, they may eventually sign up for one of those women in the church. But you see, that's why there's so many single women in the church. Tell me. They such good women, but ain't no men coming to the church to recruit them. There's a disconnect. And I blame it on the church for pimping us out. I'm just saying. I'm going to continue, though.
That's what happened, man. It was whatever they wanted, and whatever, our mom or dad, like I said, they were trying to pay rent, so they didn't care what they did. They just sent them in there after us and let them, just have whatever, whoever, how long. And it went from the home to different people's homes, and then it went into the church. So, I mean, it was just so, so hard. I mean, it was really, when I look back, it was a really difficult upbringing. It was a very hard upbringing. You could deal with a church and all their rules or whatever the case, but when it's going as far as, your parents they're in sexually assaulting you, and then you're being assaulted by so many people. I mean, it was a very hard to remember and very hard to discuss, but I'm glad I made it through it though. My sister and I leaned on each other a lot. Feel like we were the only ones that could understand. No one else cared, or nobody else wanted to know how we were doing. So I feel like for a long time, like all we had was each other. It stopped around the age of 13 or 14. Bridget ran away from home several times. So I was like, now I'm by myself. Our mother stayed with him. She loved him more than anybody in the world. Unfortunately, my mother lived with me until she passed in 2004.
And see, you saw that he mentioned how his mother loved his father more than anything in the world. That means she just following his leadership. Whatever he say goes. But ladies, you have to have a mind on your own to know there's no way I would be married to a man who's going to sexually assault my child, and I'm also going to participate like this is a party. There's no way. Are you kidding me? Then his daughter was not his daughter, but his sister was leaving the house back and forth, because I could just imagine the damage, right? That happened from the age, I think he said 4 or 6, but from the age of, let's say, 6 to the age of 14, all those years of being passed to all these different people. And I just only imagine if y'all have some type of STD or something from that, all these pastors, one after another, running trains on folks and all of that. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. And she passed in 2004, so let's hear what he has to say about that.
She loved him more than anybody in the world. Unfortunately, my mother lived with me until she passed in 2004. He passed in the year 2000. So a lot of people ask me, how could you have bought a house and had your mother move in with you and all that? There were so many unanswered questions. They never, until the day they died, asked us to forgive either one of them for anything they did. They never said they were sorry. They never said anything.
I stopped that because I don't know how many of y'all have ever gotten apologies from your parents. Have y'all ever got apologies from your parents? Let's say they were wrong about something. Did they apologize to you? Because I think as we get older, our parents are more likely to apologize to us about things they've done wrong, and we're going to be the generation that also apologizes to our children, because I think that if we have done something wrong, our children deserve an apology, because they need to see the standard to be the standard. Do you understand that? If we never apologize to our children when we're wrong, then why should they apologize? And how are they going to learn to apologize for their wrongdoings in the future, even when they're adults? I think we have to set the standard on that. And just to know that they've caused so much damage, not just physically to this man, not just physically to this man and woman, but mentally and then spiritually. You know why? Spiritual damage, because they thought that these people are of the church. These are godly folks. As kids growing up, they say, oh, these must be what Christians do. Kojic folks do, blah, 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 fill in the blank. This is the standard. This is what they do. This is acceptable. These are my mom and dad. They wouldn't do this to me if they didn't love me. So all that psychological damage and them probably growing up with the relationship, like, God, why would you put me with it? Why would you give me these parents? Why would you put me through all of this? I could just imagine what was going through their head at that moment. Why they're going into a different world in their minds. But I think today's parents have to show the standard when it comes to apologies. If you've done something wrong, especially to this damage, there's no way you didn't ask for forgiveness. There's no way you didn't ask for forgiveness knowing that you did all this to your children. Your blood.
Still asking and still wondering, like, why did this happen? Why did it happen? Why do we have to go through that? And then eventually it went into, it was what it was. And then after that, it just kind of, you just tuck it away in a closet somewhere. The hardest thing now is learning to forgive. That's almost been more terrifying than it is having gone through it, because you have to actually face all of these emotions, face all of these situations. You have to face everything. For me, I have to do exactly what the Word of God tells me, and that is to forgive. That has been a very bitter road. I started in ministry when I was in the second semester of college. A lot of people, I've talked to over the last few years are, like really shocked that I could be a minister, and having been molested by my father was a minister and so many other ministers. I don't blame God for it. I don't go down the road of, well, God is not in control. Well, I said God is in control because I'm still here. I'm here to tell my story. He allowed me to go through that. I allowed my sister to go through that. Unfortunately, he knew that we had some strength in us somewhere in order to live through it, and that today we will be able to tell the story of how we were pimped and how we were molested, by our own parents. Why do I share my story? I want to help people. I want to talk, and maybe someone can listen and hear me talk. They will get some kind of encouragement from that. I've gotten 3 degrees. I've gotten a bachelor's degree. I've gotten 2 master's degrees. So I'm going to law school. I know my life is kind of like I should have went to law school when I first went after high school, but things happened and I got more money, where I was studying. So I said, well, I'll forget about it. Well, I'm 44 years old, and it's right back in my face. I just can't ignore it. I can't ignore it now. So I want to go to law school for religious rights, to protect the church, religious rights of the church, but I also want to protect civil rights. I want to help other people. How do I educate others of my past? Well, I know that being a man, being a male, that there are a lot of men out here who've been molested like me. Some probably have gone through worse. A lot of them probably gone through worse than what I've gone through. I want to help them, give them a voice, but I also want to give a voice to as many as would hear me. I would love to, I love to share my story now. I like to talk more about what we went through. I am writing a book. We are some close descendants of Alex Haley, who wrote the Book of Roots. I've given the name of the book is Twisted Root. I would like to help people because I'm still teaching myself by the Word of God on forgiving, and I think that forgiveness is very important. I think forgiveness is very powerful. Hate doesn't accomplish anything. Hate makes you more sick. Hate is not the answer. How do I get my story out? Or started a couple years ago, I was on a nationally syndicated show. And since then, I'm in different type work settings and in the church. I have, found a place for me to talk. Eventually, I believe nationally that I'll be able to tell my story again. I'm in a situation where I'm just wanting to share my story more. Me and my sister tried to report some of the things that were happening. We had started some litigation against the church for some of the things that happened to us. We came to a stopping point because of the way the civil laws work in the state of Tennessee. Tennessee is still one of those states where, you have a very hard time trying to go back and sue an organization like in the state of New York, could bring in a lawsuit against an organization for being molested or whatever the case was. So, but that has not happened in the state of Tennessee. So right now we're not moving anywhere with it, but it's still on our minds.
This is the reason that you need to know where you live at, what the laws are in your states as it relates to the fact that they're trying to get justice for all the things that happen to them, but they're facing difficulties in this time because of how the laws are set up. That's so important. That's so important to know where you're living at, what laws are associated with you, so you won't get any surprises when things like this do happen and you're trying to get justice.
How do I go on, or where have I found the strength to go on? Well, my senior pastor, Apostle Victoria Watt, she's been very helpful. I mean, she's been so helpful in so many ways. She's a prophet. She actually saw something in a dream, and that's where the doors began to open. She saw something way back then that happened, and I had never told anyone other than my sisters. We've gotten some therapy as far as the church is concerned. The church has helped me to get along, but we are, we're taking it day by day. Why do I share my story so proudly, so openly? I believe that I can help others. I'd like to, help as many people as I can. I don't know what everyone's destiny is or whatever they're trying to achieve, but like I said, I've gone on. I've gotten 3 other degrees because there's something I'm trying to do as far as, going to law school. So, there are things that I'm trying to do academically that's maybe a little different from someone else. But, maybe someone else has a hope or a dream, and don't believe they can achieve it, because this happened. Well, that happened, but, I believe that people can create a better ending. Did I think about killing myself? Yes, I thought about killing myself. I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, and I had swallowed a whole bottle of Tylenol pills. They had taken me to the hospital, Children's Hospital in Memphis, and they pumped my stomach. I'm still alive. Yeah, I've had some behavioral issues. I know that they say, well, he's probably bipolar or schizophrenic. Well, I'm glad I'm not dead. It's just good to talk, as far as a counselor is concerned or a therapist is concerned. I do believe that, if I can continue to help other people, I'll essentially help my own self, For me, what helped me was faith. I know that people have a lot of opinions about faith and God and all, but what helped me was God. God, faith and God helped me, and He helped me through other people. So I would like to tell other people to forgive. And if you're still in that situation, you need to find a way to get out. You can forgive, but I don't want to give you that freedom in my life to bring something else on me. I would like for people to just get away, get out and find a place where they feel safe to get the help that they need. Find some people that you can trust and let someone help you. You can't make it on your own. You can't get there by yourself. Someone else has to help you, direct you in those places. I thank you for listening to my story. I hope that it's helped you. I hope that you can gain something positive from something that I shared today. And thank you for your time.
All right, y'all. That was that story. I want to give a shout out to the notorious Kevin Brooks with the 20 ball. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Let me give you a shout out real quick. There we go. 20s, hundreds, dollars, money. Hey, shout out to you again for the 20 ball saying this is really deep. On a serious note, yes, it is. I pray that they get the counseling that's needed for healing. Yes, I agree with that. And one thing that I saw him mention was something about Apostle Victrina Washington. I don't know who this lady is, but be careful, y'all. Get y'all answers directly from the source instead of going to all these prophets, prophetess, apostles, and all these different titles in the church. How many titles are there, y'all? I can't keep up with this. All right? I can't keep up with it. It's too much going on. But I do pray that they do get the counseling that they need. And I'm glad that he shared that story because I hope it resonates with somebody to know that just because that person is in the church doesn't mean that they're of God. Doesn't mean that they're following godly principles. And it's great that they forgave their parents, but it takes a real Christian to forgive them because like he said, he had to go back down memory lane and look back at all the things that happened to them and forgive his parents, even though the parents never asked for forgiveness. That's tough. I can't forgive me. Well, I'm not going to say I can't forgive. Let me be quiet. But it's difficult to forgive when you have somebody who's a friend who betrays you. You put them in that lane like, I forgive you, but I can't forgive. But sometimes we got to forgive because it's holding a barrier on us. So I do understand how difficult that is for them. I can only imagine I sympathize with them about all that they've gone through. And it's really interesting that he actually moved his mother in to live with him after she did all of that until she died in the year 2004. Most people would not have done that. Most people would have left their parents where they were and would never have talked to them again. And they have the right to do that because God's not going to tell you to associate with people who aren't good for you. But he was a bigger person and moved his mother in, which was nice of him. But like I said, everybody ain't doing that. Too many titles in the church and not enough work being done. When you have too many positions in the church, like sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. We got all these titles in the church, but they're still not doing the things that's necessary for the church. Necessary not just for the church itself, but for the community. What about the people who aren't going to the church but are looking for a church home, but you don't want to go to them because they're not in the right state for you to deal with them? You get me? You got your selective Christians. Your casual Christians, the one that say, oh, I'm cool with everybody in my church, but then I see this girl who's hungry every week on a corner. I'm not going to stop and talk to her and not give her any money because she's not to my standard yet. That's bougie Christianism. Okay, I just called it out. That's bougie Christianism. That's what it is. I'm just saying, it's a mess. It's a mess to say the least, but it's a mess. Like I say, this is my motto. Thou shalt not disturb me. And that's a mood 24/7. The reason I say that is because you try to stay in your lane. You try to do what's best for you, what's best for God, and best for those around you. And pray that you can be able to improve not only your life, but the lives of those around you as well. And another reason I brought that video up today is because this woman who was married to this pastor did what this pastor said. She submitted to him. Which, what did that do for you, ma'am? That's why the topic of this episode was called, Should I Leave Him or Stay? Sometimes we stay because of the man having titles, or the man has this job and I don't have anything. So all I have is him. He's my rock. I'm going to stay with him because he's my foundation and he's basically my little God. Instead of worshiping God, you're worshiping this man because there's no reason you wouldn't separate yourself from something that doesn't look like your father up above. So sometimes, ladies, you do have to leave before it gets too bad. There's women today who wish they could wish they could relive their lives again, and they will leave. And they will leave quietly. They're not going to tell you what they were planning to do. There's so many women who have left situations, but before they got the chance to really leave, they say, well, I'm leaving. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you. I'm packing up. I'm calling this U-Haul, and I'm going to leave you. The U-Haul never shows up or whatever. Or you're telling the man your whole plan, and then you don't get the chance to leave because he literally does something to you before you get the chance to leave. Real hustlers move in silence. You have to be quiet about your plans. If you're planning to leave a man, go ahead and do it quietly while he's not there, and then go ahead for your safety. Because that can be a messy process for those who have dealt with that. The biggest thing is that sometimes it could be God ordained at the beginning, or it could look like it's God ordained and then it doesn't turn out to be, and I don't think God will want you in that situation permanently. Some things are easily able to be worked out, but when you're dealing with the type of people we read about today, sometimes there's no coming back from that, especially after you've prayed, after you've had your counseling. Goodness gracious, to say the least. But again, I appreciate y'all for showing me love as always. I'm not gonna hold you any more longer. I just pray that y'all stay safe, y'all stay blessed, right? And God willing, I will see y'all next week for another episode of Chelsea's Live Line. Peace and shout out to Peace, y'all, and shout out to my live liners. Love y'all and thank y'all so much for all the support.